everybody, welcome to my home. This is Nine Lives Energy, and together we energize your body from the inside out. We are going to be going over how to roll on pressure points on our body. A lot of times we might have some type of issue somewhere where maybe it's uncomfortable for us to step, or maybe our hip is tight or our back is hurting, and sometimes that dysfunction can be coming from another body part, and it may not be coming from the part that you're trying to add the attention to in order to help it heal. If you get something out of this video, make sure that you like it and comment below if you are having any type of troublesome area. Maybe some of these stretches that I show you today will be able to help you feel better. And once you learn this information, make sure that you share it with other people so that you can help them feel good too. All right, so I came about this modality, I'm going to say maybe in 2010, 2011. And anyway, I bought the piece of equipment. I was working a fitness convention, and it was $180 for the kit. And this is what the kit looks like. I left it over here. It looks like this. Jinko wants to play with the other part of the homemade therapy kit that we are going to be using today. So in the little kit that I got, it came with one of these little yoga blocks. And I can go over how to use all these things, but I'm not going to for today's class. And then it came with this little roller skate looking device, which goes here on your soleus. And then this is what you call a quad roller. So this is kind of like what you would see in the gym. There's the big, long, cylinder-looking rolly things. Sometimes they come in black or white. And anyway, this is kind of like that, but it just focuses here. And it feels kind of more of like a compression instead of something that is styrofoam. And then this is what I felt like I could make for my students, because this kit right here was about $180. And I had a little bit of money to spend, and I thought, well, I'm going to be able to use this with my clients. I'll use it on myself. Well, we know what happens, folks. We buy the piece of equipment, and then we use it a couple of times, and it goes into a closet, or it becomes a coat hanger for whatever, all right? And I thought, well, I could maybe make something like this using this kit for people that maybe didn't have that much money, and I wanted to be able to share this information with my students. And so the best way that I could do that would be able to find something at home that would be similar to what this looks like with the trigger point therapy. Now, you can buy these devices separately, and right now the kits, I looked online, and it is about, it's cheaper than it used to be. So it's about $150 on the actual website for trigger point therapy, right? Trigger point therapy, and you'll see these little kits. So we are going to be doing some of these exercises with this ball here. Now, you can buy this, and it can do different areas, but you can also do this on the leg as well, which I'm going to show you how to do in this video. So I got certified in this modality in 2013, and the reason that I started doing this type of activity is because I hurt my back. It was a few weeks before I was going to be working the same convention that I bought the equipment from, and my back went out. I had been wearing high-heeled shoes, and I probably wasn't stretching properly. So we know what happens, right? We have I know I'm coming out of the video perhaps, but when we wear the high-heeled shoe, our soleus and our calf are always flexed, all right? And so when I would go down to the ground, because of this, my heel wouldn't hit the floor. I went to go spot a client, and my back went out. And I was all taped up, and I went down to the convention all taped up so I could get all the different rooms ready for the fitness convention. And in between the workshops, I would have to change those rooms around. So I wanted to go and get trigger point therapy certified. to add something else to my repertoire, because as a personal trainer and group fitness instructor, I have to recertify myself every 2 years or I lose my license. So I was thinking, well, what else could I do? Let me do this trigger point therapy certification, because obviously I need to go revisit this piece of equipment that has been in my closet for quite a few years. I went down on a Wednesday. I think my workshop was on Thursday, and the gentleman was only going over one side and wanted us to not do the other side, because he wanted us to be able to feel the difference in our doing one side and how much better we felt versus the other one. Well, I was already in pain, so while he was going over the next body part, I was doing this other side that we had just done. And I'll tell you right now, I have not had any back issues or hip issues since that time in 2013. So this modality definitely saved my career. We are going to start with the bottom of the foot. And some people suffer from plantar fasciitis. And it's just kind of like tendonitis, all right? It's a little tendon under here where your elbow might hurt, from using it too much. This can also become inflamed sometimes if we're wearing high-heeled shoes. And so I'm going to show you how to stretch this out. But because this is where it's hurting, some of that discomfort could be coming from an area that has nothing to do with that. But because you're creating a bad movement pattern within yourself, or because maybe one side is more tight, it could cause a discrepancy in the other body part where you're having the discomfort. All right, so we are going to start with the soleus. We're going to start with the plantar fascia. We're going to put your heel on top of the ball. You're going to come down for me, and you're going to push that tennis ball nice, slow, snail's pace. Now, you want to make sure your toes are not going over the ball. You want to make sure that you are picking them up, just like that. And now we're going to come back to your heel. So make sure that you're trying to do this with me. It makes a much better experience than you just watching. And you want to put about 80% of your body weight on that tennis ball. And I usually tell people, if you feel like you're getting stabbed in the foot with a knife, then you know you're doing it right. Keep those toes up. Don't let them go over the top. And you can kind of push your foot down there. When I have done this with other people, I'm the one who is actually forcing the foot down on top of this device here. So this is the same thing. And when I talk about the trigger point therapy, this is a lot harder than the tennis ball. And for the general population, they may not be able to take something that feels that hard, okay? And so their continuation and adherence to that therapy probably isn't going to be very good if it hurts every time they do it. So I tell people, start with a tennis ball, and when you want to progress, do this. And the price is a little bit more attractive to this, because a canister of tennis balls, the last time I checked, about $5 to $7. And you get 3. And you can also find another use for your sock that you have been waiting on the dryer to give you, right? And then after that, you want to try to stretch out through that calf. Stretch out through that fascia. And I kind of stretch out kind of like this, where I bring my knee forward and then I come back. I bring my knee forward and try to push your heel down to the ground. All right, let's do the other side. Before we do that, we're going to do a little trick, okay? Excuse me, folks. Having to do this at home today. Jinko is over there in his king's throne. Hopefully he won't be making an appearance. And I'm washing clothes, so I'm pretty sure you heard the dryer just go off. The joys of trying to work from home. Getting things done while getting things done. All right, so we're going to work on the soleus now. Now, the soleus is in between the calf and the heel, all right? And it's right here. It's not on the ankle. It's right below the calf. So we're going to sit right there. We're going to roll back and forth. Now what I'd like for you guys to do, all right, we're going to put our foot on there. We're going to see the difference. So you want to make sure that your foot is on top of the tennis ball, not way up here. And now we're going to roll. And you might feel that it's a little bit different sensation with a little bit more pressure on it. Now I want you to find an uncomfortable spot, and then we're going to big circle to the right or to the left a few times. And then we're going to go back to the other direction a couple of times. Woo! And then we're rolling back and forth. Right. Now we're going to do it again. And we're circling around to the right or to the left. And then you circle around to the other direction. Now we're going to roll back and forth. All right, so that is the soleus. All right, so now we're going to come up to our calf. Now, this is the part that kind of juts out a little bit. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to put our foot on top of our leg, and we're going to add just one more movement to this. So we're going to roll for me, and you might find that, you know, that tennis ball hurts a little bit more if you go on the outside of the leg. Maybe it feels a little more tender if we go on the inside of the leg, or maybe down a little further. All right, so now we're going to do something called a toe slap. So bring that toe up and slap it down. So this is dorsiflex. Dorsiflex like dorsifin coming out of the water. Plantar flexion, which is I'm planting something in the ground. That's how I learned that, okay? Up and down. Now we're going to make those circles for me. Circle around. And then we circle around the other direction. And then we roll back and forth. Good. All right, so we're going to do that again for me. Here we go. Bring that toe up, and we're going to slap it down. Bring that toe up, and we're going to slap it down. And now we're going to give me a big circle to the right or to the left. And then taking it to the other direction for me, my friends. Good. And roll back and forth. Now that is the calf. Now we're going to do a little quick little test. All right. So what I'd like for you guys to do, I want you to stand up for me. Now we are going to stand on the foot that we just stretched out. So again, I'm sorry, I'm probably disappearing in the top, so forgive me. You need to be focusing on this part anyway. All right. So we're standing on that foot for me, the one that we just stretched out, and I want you to jump, 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 jump. All right, now we're going to take it to the other foot, stand on it, and now jump. Now, if you did this right, all right, hopefully you found some discrepancies between the two sides. So kind of think about that for a little bit. Maybe you felt off balance. Maybe you felt like, oh, what am I supposed to be doing? Oh, there it is. There's my jump. Okay. Or maybe it wasn't going as high or it wasn't going as fast. Who knows? So here's the premise behind this. If you've ever cooked a piece of chicken and you've seen like the white film on the outside of the chicken, right? That is within us as well. And it's called fascia tissue. And as you age, as you exercise and you don't stretch, or as you become injured or have a surgery, scar tissue builds up, and that material in your body gets very rigid, okay? And that's kind of like what we look like, that film that you would take off the chicken. That is in us too. And as it gets rigid, it compresses on muscles and nerves, which causes the pain. So basically what you are doing, all right, and I will explain this in just a little bit after we do this side. So stand up for me, please. We're going to take that tennis ball on the heel and going all the way to the ball of the foot for me. So pushing it down for me. And you can be on the outside or the inside of the foot. Make sure that those toes are up and that they're not cupping over the tennis ball. Good job, folks. Coming on back and going from the heel all the way towards the ball of the foot, pushing that tennis ball as flat as possible. So again, if you are new to this type of workout, you might want to start with tennis balls because they give a little bit, and the trigger point therapy balls do not. But this is a good starting tool, and it's just a little bit cheaper. And so if you need something just a little bit more like me, then and you're like, okay, no pain, no gain. When I do therapy, I know it's not supposed to feel good, so I try to make it as hard as possible so I can get the benefit out of it, right? But I'm not as crazy as some people. But I also do some stuff that's kind of like, you know, not everybody would do those types of treatments to themselves to get the benefit. But that therapy isn't supposed to feel good. And I want to get to feel better faster. All right, we're going to cross that foot over for me. And now we are going to roll on that soleus for me. Let me come out this way. I think you can see me just a little bit more. Besides me running into Mr. Snowman over there. So it is February, but you would not have known it as warm as it has been this week. All right, so now we're going to take it to the circle. So remember the soleus, we don't want to be on the ankle. We want to be right below the calf. And now we're going to take that foot and go in the other direction for me, folks. Good job. And roll back and forth. Hopefully you're listening to some music right now. I should have been playing some. And circle that foot around. I have to be careful sometimes. In my fit and will class, I'll get, some flags. Oh, it's copyrighted music. I'm like, I know, and I don't own the rights to this music. And roll back and forth. So if you look on Rumble, I have an account there, but I haven't been putting many videos on there because I haven't gotten as many taken down, or you can't hear me on YouTube this semester. So that's a good thing. And bring it around. So that is our soleus. So now moving on up a little higher to where our calves are. So hopefully you are doing this at home and getting the benefit out of this. And roll back and forth. And then I will explain our little test here in a minute. So rolling back and forth on that calf. Do we see that maybe one calf is tighter than another? All right, here's those toe slaps. And bring that toe up and slap it down. Make sure that foot is on top of your leg. Bring that foot up and slap it down. Nice job. And circle that around for me. Beautiful. Circle it around on the other direction. Good job. And roll back and forth. All right, let's do this one more time. Toe slaps. Toes come up, slap it down. Toes come up and slap it down. And circle around for me. And circle around the other direction. All right, so roll just a little bit more. Basically what we are doing, remember when I said your muscle kind of had to think about what was going on there for a minute. So if your muscle, all right, is supposed to be working at 100%. It's stretched out at 100%. If you have not been stretching properly and your fascia is all tight, and that muscle may be at 80%, which means the opposite muscle, all right, now has to be overstretched and then respond even longer. So let's just take the chest and your back, for instance, because this will make more sense when we get there, okay? If I work chest all the time, all right, and I'm supposed to be 100 on equal sides, all right? If I don't stretch out my chest and I don't work my back and I don't bring my shoulders back, then my chest might be working at 80%, meaning this is working at 120% stretched out. So when I go to push something, all right, I may not be able to do it to the best of my ability because I'm only working with 80%. And now it's almost like your back is a rubber band that you've pulled, and then you're trying to make it work even harder, okay? So what these exercises do is helps you open up that fascial tissue just a little bit more so that that muscle can stretch out further. So let's put our hands like this for me, please. If your hands are like this, and we've all heard about what power is, right? So it is the distance, right, over time, or distance and speed. I was not good in this area of science. It's been a long time ago. Some of my engineer people or people that are doing some of this biomechanic stuff probably remember more than me. I'm having a quick brain freeze. Please forgive me. Nonetheless, you'll understand what I'm saying. Because this is going to, you're going to have to listen for the sound, okay? So I want you to put your hands like this for me, please. So that's right beside your rib cage. So our chest is working at 80%, right? I want you to clap. Is that as loud as you can go? Try to be like remember the monkey, with the cymbals like this, and you'd wind it up and it'd go around? That's where your hands are, okay? Now, all right, after we have stretched out through that fascial tissue, this is our distance. Now clap. It's a whole lot louder, okay? So we have taken our muscle, which is working at 100%, and now we have more power because it's able to go over a longer distance, okay? And so if we're here, it's not going to make that big of a sound. If it's here, it's going to make more of a sound. So listen to this analogy. It's no different in our muscles. If we've stretched out that fascial tissue, it's going to jump higher. It's going to run faster. It's not going to have the ability of getting injured because it's warmed up properly. Okay, so you can use this as a warm-up. You can use this every day. The person who showed this to me and trained me on it also used it every day, and they were in a serious car accident, and without this, I'm sure that they would be suffering from a lot of pain. However, I see more benefit when I don't use it but a few times a week. Or if I have a nagging area, I need to have a couple of days of rest to kind of let it push through whatever I was trying to get that tension point out. If you keep on attacking it, it's never going to have an opportunity to heal. So you use your discretion in how you want to do this. I will say that there are 3 types of people that need to be careful and get a doctor's clearance before they begin this. That is pregnant women, because you don't want to roll on a blood vessel that could be feeding that fetus. The next person is a diabetic. They have neuropathy in their hands and feet, and they may not be able to feel their extremities, and they're pushing on this ball, and they may push too hard and develop a wound that may not heal. Your last one is someone who has osteoporosis. If they have weak bones, they could push too hard, and if their bones are brittle, it could cause a break. So those are the 3 that would need a doctor's clearance. But I would like to show you another modality using another type of ball device that is a little bit less hard, I guess, on the body. And so people may be a little bit more receptive to that if this is too much. And sometimes if we have an area that's hurt and we're pushing too hard on it, it may cause that issue or trauma to go deeper into the body, and then you never heal it. All right. So just kind of use your discretion on those 2 things. All right. So now we're going to move up to the psoas. The psoas is spelled P-S-O-A-S. So the P is silent. The psoas is in between the hip and the belly button. So kind of in this area here. Now, some people feel it a little bit more in this area. Some people feel it a little bit more here. Some people feel it a little bit more there. But you see the area, it's just kind of in between this area, anywhere from kind of like the hip where it bends all the way up into this area. So we're going to get to this, you're going to lay down for me. And you want to find a place where it feels kind of uncomfortable in between your hip bone and your navel. And after you find that little uncomfortable place, all right, let me move this way. You want to move Jinko's his little bed. We're going to reach out for me like this. You're going to pull your elbows in as if you were a superhero. You are going to drive your foot down to the ground and look up. And if your foot is pointed down instead of in that plantar flexion, then we're going to lift your arm up this way and come back and down. All right, let's do that again. So we find another little sticky point there. All right, once you do, reach out, relax down. You're going to pull yourself forward for me. You're going to take that foot and you're going to drive it down and you're going to reach up. Ugh. So that is the psoas. Now, this muscle gets very tight on a lot of people and they think, oh, well, my back is hurting. Well, it could be because your psoas is tight. Let's think about this. One of the number one areas that people want to work when they come to the gym is what? I want to get rid of my belly. So they come to the gym, right? And they're like, they crunch. And they're basically just exacerbating the issue of being able to be in a seated position. And now they're just crunching and making that issue worse. It's almost like if I took this and I'm sitting in a chair and I'm just crunching down this way. So you want to make sure that you're opening that area up. So we're laying on our tennis ball for me. Finding that nice tender spot. Reaching those arms out. Pull your elbows in. Looking up at that ceiling. Drive that foot into the floor. Reach that arm up. And come back. All right, let's find one more area. And reaching down. Pull your elbows in, looking up at that ceiling. Drive that foot into the floor. Reach that arm up. And come back down. So that is the psoas. All right, the next one we are going to be doing is the chest area. So I will pull this up so you guys can see. You will be laying on the ground. And so your chest muscles originate in the sternum and also in the clavicle bone here, and then they insert into the humerus bone. Okay, so this is why we need your arm to push, because if your bicep wasn't extending, then the chest would not be able to contract into the sternum and up into the clavicle bone and get smaller that way, and then open back up when your arm comes down. So this is how it looks in the up position, and then I'll show it to you in the down position. So that ball, if I was here doing I call them the CrossFit way push-ups, where you go all the way down, all the way up to the floor, and you're up here at the top, and you're going to take this tennis ball, and you're going to go all the way over the chest, into under the arm, and you can raise your arm up in different positions as you do this, okay? I'm going to face this way so you can see what's going on. So we're going to start at your chest. You can do this even if you have an enhancement there. However, if you have like a pacemaker or something that's hard, I would not do that, and just try to go above that tissue. I have had people that are well endowed in this area and it's hard for them to feel this. So if that is you, you might be able to have more comfort by doing this against the wall and pushing yourself that way as if this was the wall, okay? So we're starting here. You just don't want to go over the nipple line because that hurts. All right, hands here for me, please. And now we are going all the way here. Bring your arm up as your ball goes closer and closer to under your arm. And as you do that, you want to kind of turn your body a little bit. Good job. And come back. All right, so now we're doing this again. So hands here for me. And pushing. Bring that arm up. All right. One more. And then I'm going to get the my earphones because I think that it may sound just a little bit better if I have my earphones in. Forgot to get them. Bring that arm up. All right, I'll be right back. Right, this may sound just a little bit better. All right, so now we're going to go to the other side for me. Bringing that ball here. And hands come out to the side. And you're going to push, push, push that tennis ball. Now, if you find a place that feels kind of stuck, you have a couple of options, okay? If you, ladies, I know you can, and maybe guys, if you have long hair, if you've had a tangle in your hair or you've brushed your child's hair and you wouldn't just take a brush and just scrape it through, and you wouldn't want to do that to your muscle either. So you just want to kind of tease the muscle a little bit by going back and forth, just like what you would do with a comb to try to get that tangle out, okay? So it's basically you're getting a tangle out of a muscle. And so we're going over it. So basically that feeling that you're feeling, it feels almost like the shoulder blade is stuck to your back, or it could be a knot that you feel in your chest. You just want to kind of massage it back and forth. Another thing you can do is just breathe through it. Hold it there. Exhale. And as you do that, that muscle gets a little looser. That works for me the most. Another thing is I move a little bit and I can inhale, exhale, and then move my arm through different positions. So that's 3 things you can do in order to get that knot that maybe that is on your shoulder blade or underneath. So with that motion, we can bring our arms up and we can even bring them to the back. So let me show you what this looks like from this area. So if I'm here and I'm moving, I can bring my arm up this way as I'm pushing, maybe going back and forth, bringing that hand behind your back, and then opening up. Now, if you have never had a massage on your chest, it is an off-limit area to massage therapists. It's unethical for them to touch you there. You may experience some bruising feeling the next day, and that is normal, okay? So that knot that is in your back, basically what is happening is that chest that was at 80% and that back that was 120, your shoulder blades all day long have been telling you, roll your shoulders back, roll your shoulders back, roll your shoulders back. And if you don't roll your shoulders back, it's going to develop a knot there. And it's like, well, I'm going to develop this knot so that I can hold your shoulders back because you won't do it. And the only way to get to that area is through the chest, okay? The next one we are going to be doing with the single is our right here underneath our clavicle bone. If you have a crick in your neck, this is a really good one to do. You are going to take the tennis ball and you are going to pull the muscle away from the clavicle bone. So instead of going up here, if you have your clavicle bone here, you're taking this and you're pulling it down and away from the muscle as you are doing your head in different positions, all right? So we are sitting here for me. I'm going to show you what this looks like from a seated position, and then we're going to lay down on the floor. So we have the tennis ball here. We're going to pull this down, and if our face was here at the floor, you're going to pull your face away as if it was one unit. Don't look up like this, okay? You want to pull your face away because what we're trying to do is if you've been sitting like this a lot and doing a text neck, all right, or driving or whatever, just not sitting properly, it's like a big bowling ball and it's pulling this way. We want to try to strengthen those muscles and get you in a better alignment, all right? So let's take the tennis ball, and I'm going to show you what it looks like from this area because it may be easier. You're going to take the tennis ball and cup it, pull the pull the muscle away down from the clavicle, your collarbone right here, okay? And as you do that, you're putting like all your body weight there. You're going to take your face, you're going to pull it away as one unit, and then turn your head to one side. Come back to the center. Turn it to the other side for me. come back to center, and relax. All right, we're going to do that again. All right, here we go. So we're pulling this away from the clavicle, all right, the muscle. Head is down. Put all your body weight as much as you can onto the tennis ball. Pull away as one unit. Turn to one side. Come back to center. Turn to the other side. Come back to center. All right, let's do the other side for me. And I'm going to face this way so you can see what it looks like from this direction. Again, you want to take the tennis ball. You're going to pull the muscle away from the clavicle bone. You're going to put all your weight on it, almost all your weight on it. And you might feel like a little knot. It's like, I'm about to take my breath. Just stay right there. Make sure that your face is down. You're pulling your face away as one unit. Turn your face to one side. Come back. Turn it to the other side. And come back. Let's do that again. Readjust. Move the tennis ball. Push all your body weight on there. Nice. Pull your face away as one unit. Turn to one side. Come back to center. Turn to the other side. Good job. This is a really good tool for physical therapists, personal trainers, athletic trainers, coaches that can give some of these stretches to their players as a warm-up or even at the end. It's a little bit more innovative than just standing here and trying to stretch. And if you've stretched through that fascial tissue, you might be amazed at how much further that you can stretch. We have one more to do with the single ball. We're going to sit on the tennis ball. This is for the glutes, all right? Now, people that have sciatica issues, usually it is because of tight glutes and tight IT bands. The IT stands for iliotibial band. Iliotibial band, yeah. And we're going to roll that ball over that glute. Take that foot out. Cross that foot over and roll for me. Good job. Good job. All right, bringing that knee in. Straighten that leg out. Cross that foot over and roll. All right. Taking it to the other side. So remember those two areas. Usually people that have some sciatic issues, it's usually for that's tight outside of the leg, which is the IT band or the iliotibial band, and tight glutes. Because that sciatica runs all the way from your low back down your leg to your foot. And you could feel some relief by doing some of those first stretches that we did with the calf as well. But it just depends on how that person walks. Take that foot out, cross that foot over. A lot of us have poor movement patterns which affect our performance. Bring that foot down, reach that leg out, cross that foot over, and roll. Good job. All right, so enough of the single use. We are getting ready to use both of these together. All right. So when you do that, you are going to make like this little peanut shape like this. And you are going to make like a little knot. You don't want to make it too tight. You might not be able to get it apart. And if you want to use that tennis ball, let me get a sip of water. I usually like to have both of these mixed together. I've used now I guess I can maybe put this one in here. Now they're mixed together. Just have a little bit more relaxed version of me than a little bit more fast thinking. That's what the two products are. Focus and mood. So it's good right before you take a test, and sometimes I do that before I make these videos because I get nervous too. All right, so we're going to start with the quadricep, and before we do this, just know that I love you. So if you are experiencing some pain during this, it is only for your good. So we are going to start with the two tennis balls on either side like this, and we are going to lay our leg on there above our knee. Now, if you are experiencing pain with this, most people do. You are not alone. But if you have the foam roller at your gym, you can use one of those. However, the foam roller is going to cover more of a flat area like this. So it's not going to be able to do what this can, because this feels like maybe you're pushing with two elbows, or that you're pushing with your knuckles like this. And so it's able to kind of get into some of those muscle grooves a little bit deeper than the superficial foam roller. Not that the foam roller is bad, but I definitely like this when we get to the back area, and you'll understand why when we get there. All right, so we're going to, if I come out of view, I apologize. I'm trying to stay in view. We're going to roll down or roll up about halfway up our leg, come back to our knee, roll to our mid-thigh, come back to our knee, roll to our mid-thigh, stay there, and I want you to zigzag back and forth, go back and forth over it. Now bring that foot to your butt. Here we go. 1, woo, and 2. All right, folks, so now we are going down a little bit further and up. So we're in the middle part of that leg now. Middle part of the leg, and come back. Middle part of the leg, and come back. Middle part of the leg, and zigzag back and forth. Bring that foot up for me, please. 1 and 2. All right, so now stay right there. I'm just moving myself out of the way of not getting out of the camera. So now we're at the middle thigh. We're going to go all the way to the hip. Come back to the mid-thigh. Go all the way to the hip. Woo! And go back to mid-thigh. And go all the way to the hip. Good. And zigzag back and forth. And bring that foot to your butt. 1 and 2. Oh my goodness. Woo! So, basically what we are doing, all right, is we are just trying to get some good blood flow in there. And if you notice, like, oh my God, I can't breathe, or oh my God, I'm sweating to death, basically what we are doing is your muscles kind of feel like, and also in your mind too, because remember, this is painful. And what does the body want to do when something's painful? It wants to say, nope, not going to do that. And it's not like there's a personal trainer or a physical therapist there or an acupuncturist that's making you do this, okay? It's self-massage. It's self-therapy. And so if it hurts, our automatic response is, I'm going to stop. So kind of pushing through the pain. And when you do that, your parasympathetic nervous system, that fight or flight, kind of turns on. No different than you staying in one of those cryo chambers and freezing to death for 3 minutes, or being like some of those crazy people at my gym, going outside in the pool. Yes, going outside in the pool. They can have that. I'm a cold-natured person, so I like the sun. All right, so we're going to go back for me on the other side. Here we go. So we're from our knee going towards our hip about halfway, coming back to the knee, going towards the hip. Coming back to the knee, going towards the hip. Oh, yeah, there we go. And zigzag back and forth for me, folks. And let's bring that foot to your butt. 1, come on now. And 2, here we go, folks. And we're rolling up. So we're at our mid-thigh, going up even further to the mid-thigh and back. Going up even further to the mid-thigh and coming back, going up even further. Zigzag back and forth for me, folks. Zigzag. And now we're going to bring that foot up. 1 and 2. You can do this again. Come on, folks. Here we go. From the middle thigh to the hip. Middle thigh to the hip. Middle thigh to the hip. Woo! And staying at that hip area. Zigzag back and forth. Now bring that foot to your butt. 1, come on, one more time. And 2, make sure that you are breathing, okay? And I know that it feels uncomfortable, and if you need to start with the foam roller, please do. But again, this is a really cool device if it's in your budget to afford it. And this kind of feels like a hand, but it has a little bit more firmness to it. And it covers a lot more space than this does, but it's a little bit more, it feels better than it does if you were to use that foam roller, because that foam roller is just flat, and this actually has a little contour to it. So that is what we would be doing on our leg here if we had this device. So now let's lay on our IT band. So remember, the IT band stands for iliotibial band. Instead of starting at the knee, we are going to be starting at the hip. So I'm going to be up here, folks. Oh my gosh, you got to make sure this leg is straight. Got to make sure this leg is straight. And then this leg is crossed over the top so that this leg can't go in the front. Make sure that the leg doesn't bend or you're not getting the benefit out of it. Take a big deep breath and exhale. Here we go. Bring it down. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. And zigzag back and forth. If you are able, bring that foot to your butt. Come on back and do it again. I might need to get away from the couch. Didn't get full range of motion. All right, so now we're going to go back from the middle of the thigh to even more middle of the thigh. Staying right there for me, folks. Staying right there. And zigzag back and forth. Bring that foot to your butt. 1 and 2. All right, folks, coming down even more. Middle of the thigh to the side of the knee. Keep that leg straight. Is your leg straight? Middle thigh to side of the knee, but not on the knee. Zigzag back and forth. And bring that foot up. Oh, my gosh. Ah! Just remember, Miss Smith loves you, even though that hurt. All right, talk about parasympathetic nervous system. I got a little hot there. Okay. Next side. We know how it's going to feel. And we're ready. Here we go. So at the top of that hip, and where's that foot? In the front, because we'll make sure this leg is straight. 3, 2, let's go. Up and down. Rolling from our hip to our middle thigh. Rolling from our hip to our middle thigh. You can do it. Good. And zigzag back and forth. Good. Bring that foot up. 1 and 2. And rolling halfway down, coming back down. Straighten out that leg for me. And zigzag back and forth. Bring that foot up. 1, 2. We have one more to go, folks. Come on, middle thigh to the side of the knee. Middle thigh to the side of the knee. You can do it. Straighten out that leg. Zigzag for me. And bring that foot up and up. Woo! You can do the same thing in other parts of your leg right here on, what is that? The vastus medialis, I think. I can't think of it. That's probably it. Anyway, it's this big teardrop right here. You can do the same thing there. Cyclist, if you cycle a lot, this would be a really good stretch for you to do there. All right, now we are on our back. Now, again, if you have osteoporosis, this would not be a good thing to do, so you might want to talk to your doctor first. Now, with this one, we're going to start at our low back and kind of work our way up, and we're just going to warm up our back. So I go all the way down, and then I go all the way up. Now, this ball, right, as you can see, is going to be on either side of my spine. That way my spine is in the center of this ball, and it's better than doing the foam roller, because the foam roller would roll on that joint. And we don't want that, okay? We want to focus on the muscle. So we're rolling all the way up to our neck. And then we roll all the way down. If you have a billowy shirt on, you might want to tuck it into your pants or pull it up this way. Same thing if you have a hoodie on, okay? We're going to start with our upper neck, but you could start at your low back if you wanted to. All right, so right here at the neck, Now, what I did is you probably saw my hips up, but you know, they could be down on the ground if you wanted them to. So we're rolling on the neck, rolling on the neck, rolling on the neck. Woo. And now we're going just a little bit further down. We're at the top of those shoulder blades, top of the shoulder blades. Now, what you could do here, what I like to do, in the training, they taught us to make like a big T on the floor, give yourself a hug and rock back and forth, and that's fine, dandy. But I like to do a little bit more than that. So you can have your knees bent or like this. Bring your arms over. Bring your arms back over. Bring your arms up to the side like a butterfly. Bring your arms back down like a butterfly. You could do both of those, okay? All right, so now we're going to go down a little further, and you can roll on down like this, or you can do one vertebrae at a time, all right? When you do get to the shoulder blades, all right, my suggestion is to bring your elbows in like this as you're rolling, because that way the intrinsic muscle fibers a little bit are exposed as those bones go away from the muscle, and it can separate them, and you can get them a little bit deeper. Bring those arms up just like a rainbow and come back down. Bring your arms up this way. Trying to avoid the snowman. Come back. Maybe I should move myself down. Let's try this again. So we're into the shoulder blades for me. Bring those arms up. Bring those hands down and back up. You can even give yourself a big hug and rock back and forth. Now we're rolling down a little bit more for me. Rolling down. All right, arms up. And reach those hands over. Reach those hands back. Bring your hands down and up just like a butterfly and a rainbow. And you can kind of rock back and forth, or you can give yourself a big hug. Either one. And now we're rocking down a little bit closer to the kidney area. And with this one, I just kind of move my knees from side to side. Another stretch that I think is beneficial. Regardless of how you're looking at this video, bend your knees, and then you're going to tilt one to the side and then cross your leg over. And you can kind of feel that stretching through your hip. And now we're going to take it to the other side. Bend that knee, cross that other leg over, and just drop it. And you can kind of feel, again, that stretch through your hip area. And as you get a little closer to the back, we're just going to go like we are brushing our back with that ball. And then we're going to sit up. And you should feel like a marshmallow. All right, so I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure that I got all of these things down. I did. All right, make sure that if you like this video, that you like it. Please, in the comments of it, tell me what body part that you felt the most intensely, or the one that you're going to remember the most, or the one that you saw the most benefit out of. Just let me know which body part that we stretched out and how that helped you today. And don't forget to share this video with somebody that you think that might be able to benefit, because every time you interact with the channel, another person gets healthier. Thank you very much. My name is Chrissy Smith, and this is 9 Lives Energy, and together we energize your body from the inside out. Thank you.